Well, ladies and gentlemen, this week was delivery week. We got a lot of stuff delivered. No, not the 966, but we got a bunch of other cool stuff that I'll show you here. The first thing would be that. That's our second wagon. The second thing is something that I bought. There we go, baby. Tools. So I bought 3 Ratchet Sets from Tecton. If you don't know what Tecton is, it's this online tool store. I don't think you can buy them in store. I think they're just online. I think you can get them on Amazon too. But anyway, I found out about them from where I work. They have a really good lifetime warranty and very impressive customer service. I will say that. They are pretty good quality and they don't break the bank like Snap-on, which is why I'm not buying Snap-on probably ever. We have tools, okay? We just don't have the right tools all the time. So for example, the tools that we have are just pretty basic things. We got stuff just like some little adjustables, some hammers. We do have every type of pliers in the world. We got basic stuff like a basic standard and metric set of wrenches. We do have a couple oversized wrenches, a big 3/4 inch ratchet set. We got other stuff like hammers, like I said, dead blow. We do have an impact. So we have a lot of random tools, a lot of more woodworking tools than we do equipment tools. But as we are getting more and more into the equipment side of things here, especially as we get closer to hay season and it being winter, we're doing a lot of projects. We need a lot of tools. So we have, like I said, lots of wrenches. We got pliers and stuff, hammers. So the main thing that pretty much every person who works on equipment has is a good set of ratchets. And my dad has kind of this big husky set that he keeps in his truck. But it's just a combo set of some sockets, and it's a good set, and we can do a lot of work with it. But the thing is, he keeps it in his truck, and so if he's away at work, I don't have a good set of ratchets or anything to do anything. I bought my own set that I can call my own, but I'm going to keep it here at the farm for when we need it. So I bought a 1/4 inch drive set. This is a nice little set. It does not come with this little stubby. I bought this thing separately. I use this a lot at work, and I was like, I need to have that because that's going to come in handy. 3/8 drive, which is probably your most common ratchet set. So this is probably one that we'll be using quite a bit. Comes with a breaker bar, a couple extensions, and a U-joint. Then I got a giant 1/2 inch set because you never know when you might have quite a big thing. So this is the big one. 1/2 inch drive, breaker bar, and a full set of sockets, 2 extensions, and a U-joint. Now we're pretty much set. Everything with tools. We have a full set of ratchets, every type of socket you could imagine. Do I talk a lot? Comment below if I talk too much. So enough about tools. Let's talk about this project right here. So this tractor has its quirks. It has its host of issues that we are starting to dive into. Let me say first though that it's a great tractor. It starts and runs great. Every time that I've needed it, it has started up and it has ran. This summer I do want to use it to rake hay. I want it to be my raking tractor, and I'll get to that in a second. In order to do so, I want this thing running the best that it can. So it has some problems. Sometimes it will just shut off on us randomly. It has a little bit of a tick in the motor. It has a leaking valve cover gasket. Actually both of them are leaking. And it's made quite a mess on the thing. Let's see what else. None of the gauges work, or maybe they do work, and I don't know. The temp gauge pegs out after 5 minutes, so that's the thing that we're addressing right now. Tach doesn't work, fuel gauge doesn't work, so we're going through and just checking all of these things. So here's the engine. The other day, we cleaned off a lot of the gunk that was on here. This thing was black. So we cleaned it off, pulled the valve covers off. This gasket right here was leaking really bad, and so is this one too. But this one, or maybe even both of them, whoever owned this tractor, someone used gasket maker to make an entire gasket pretty much. Here's the other side. We pulled the exhaust manifold and the intake manifold off so that we can try to get to some of the gunk under here. We scraped more of it off, and yeah, it's just a mess. We're gonna rebuild the carburetor. Probably wouldn't hurt to do so. But right here, I believe this is the thermostat or the sensor for the temp. We could barely get this thing out. We did break it loose, but it took a lot of force to get this thing to break loose. It was really rusted in there. This ground thing right here wasn't on there very good either. So that could have even just been the problem, that this wasn't very tight and it did not have a very good connection. But that sensor could also be really bad because it did not look good. So I looked up online, and a gauge, sensor, and the wire is about 30 bucks, which is a lot cheaper than I was expecting. So we will probably just redo that. And we'll probably end up having to redo all the gauges as well, the wires and the sensors, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. This one right here, this temp gauge thermostat, it should not be too big of a problem. So hopefully we can get that thing sorted out. I don't think the tractor's overheating. It does not have a blown head gasket. Thank goodness. I don't know much about engines, but we're figuring it out as we go. My brother knows a lot more than I do, so he's helping me do this. But we're getting into it. I got all new gaskets and ferrules for the manifolds here. So that would be going in these things right here. Got all new ones there. So here's my valve cover gaskets. They just arrived about an hour ago. So the thing about these gaskets is they are cork gaskets. So I'm not 100% sure what to do with these, but they should work. All I know is that not reusable. So I'm not gonna put them on until we complete the work in the valve train, which there is work that needs to be done in the valve train because the rocker arms, the one up here and the one back here, they have a lot of play in them. So hopefully it's the push rods. If it's not that, it might be the cam. So hopefully it's the push rods because I don't want to deal with the cam. Now before I forget, let me tell you why I want to rake with this tractor. So our rake over there, it's a Kuhn single rotary rake. Now, when we bought it, I hooked it up to the AGCO, took it up into the cornfield. There's a little bit of fodder there. I raked it up and I was working on getting the adjustments right and getting it to sit somewhat level, as close to level as I could, because when those tines come around, I wanted all those tines to just brush the top and come across and rake it up real nice. But it was sitting a little bit of an angle, and the front couple times were digging into the dirt, which I didn't want that to happen. But the reason I want to rake with the case is because I maxed out the adjustments on the rake when it was hooked up to the AGCO, and I still couldn't get it level. Now I measured the drawbar height on the case and on the AGCO, and the case's drawbar sits a little bit higher, meaning that the rake, rather than sitting like this on the AGCO, is going to sit a little bit more like this on the case. So with that being said, I can adjust the back adjustment on the rake and get it to sit level. Some of you might know what I'm talking about, but the case, the drawbar sits higher, so it should sit a little bit more level. That's why I want to rake with the case rather than the AGCO. Plus the case is much more nimble than the AGCO, much better turning radius, and I think would just be an all around better raking tractor than the AGCO. The AGCO would be a good raking tractor. And I will rake with it if I have to. If we do start doing a lot more road running, I might take the AGCO. I might put the AGCO on the rake just because the AGCO is faster and it's a synchronized transmission, so I can shift through my gears better than I can the case. The case, I can only really shift from third to fourth because I'm not very good at shifting, really. I can't float gears. I don't drive truck. But I can at least shift from third to fourth. I can match my RPMs to my transmission, and I can upshift from third to fourth. Downshifting is a whole nother story. I'm gonna stop talking because I know I probably bored you a long time ago. Thank you for watching if you stuck around this long. Hopefully you've been enjoying the content lately. I know it's just been a lot of me talking in the shop. I'm gonna try to get more video of me actually doing things. Hopefully I can do that for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one, if you decide to come back.